Video. So hello friends, this is Professor Rahul Bhavne, and today is in a subject of heat transfer. We are going to see three-dimensional heat conduction equation in Cartesian coordinates. So let's start today's video. So in Cartesian coordinates, suppose there is any slab or any solid, and for that slab we are taking one element, and element having fixed dimension, uh, that is dx, dy and dz. So these dimension, it might be the same, so it will become like a cube, or it might be the different one, but this kind of element we consider. And the origin of this element is at the intersection of these three axes. So along x-axis we consider the length of element dx, along y-axis we consider the length of element is dy, and along z-axis we consider the length of element is dz. And all these dimensions are positive, whereas this backmost and bottommost corner is kept at origin point, so every dimension are in positive axis. Now suppose there is a generation source, heat generation source, and because of that heat generation source, this capital Qg is the total amount of heat generated inside this element. So generation source, that is the intensity to generate heat, so it will be a per unit volume. So watt per unit volume, that much is the generation source. So if I multiply complete volume with that intensity, so it becomes the total heat generated inside this element, and that is denoted by capital Qg. Now suppose we are considering uh, Qx is the heat amount which is entering in a x direction to this element. So what is the cross sectional area or area normal to the direction of this Qx? So it becomes dy multiplied by dz. So this face area is the cross sectional area for this Qx. Now this Qx amount of heat is entering at this area dy multiplied by dz, then travel through this dx distance, thickness. So this will be a path for Qx, and coming out from this right face, again same area dy by dz as a Qx plus dx. This is just a notation. So it is not like Qx plus this thickness dx. So it is just a notation. Qx plus dx, this is the amount coming out from this element when we consider only the x direction. So same way, suppose we consider y direction. So Qy is the amount of heat entering to the element from bottom face, and that area is dx by dz. Then this heat will travel through this element through a distance dy and coming out from element as Qy plus dy. And same manner, suppose Qz is the heat traveling in to this element, pass through this element through the length of path dy and come out as Qz plus dz. Now this is the element having a fixed dimension, so dy, dx and dz are not going to change, it is fixed. So this kind of element we choose, and now we have to derive three-dimensional heat conduction equation. So this is a Cartesian coordinate system. So let's start how to derive that. Now this is our schematic, and one by one we will consider all the directions. So first of all we will consider x direction only. So considering x direction, where Qx amount of heat is entering, and that cross sectional area is dy into dz. Now apply Fourier's law of heat conduction. So Qx is equals to minus kx. Why minus kx? Because we are considering only x direction. So in x direction, thermal conductivity is kx. Multiply by ax. So area in a direction of x. And obvious, this is a cross sectional area. Then del t by del x. Here we put the minus sign. It means this dt is lower value minus higher value. Now consider qx plus dx. This is the amount of heat which is coming out from a right face in a direction of x. So qx will be the heat entering, qx plus dx will be the heat which is coming out from element in a direction of x. For the area, from the area is dy dz, same area. So qx plus dx is equals to qx plus del by del x of qx into dx. And this is according to Taylor series. You might be know, you might be learn in a mathematics subject. So in Taylor series, the higher value, so qx plus del by del x of qx into dx, this is the path length dx, plus higher values, higher order values. But all higher order values become 0. So we just put this much equation. Now let us consider qx is the entering heat, qx plus dx is the heat leaving from this element. So whatever be the difference of these two will be accumulated inside the element. So the heat accumulated inside the element when heat flow in a direction of x, so it is dqx. It is equals to heat flow in minus heat flow out. So whatever be the difference of heat is remain inside the element. So that is called accumulation. So heat accumulation in direction of x is the dqx. So what is the heat flow in? So it is qx. Heat flow out is qx plus dx. Now put the value of qx plus dx. So it become qx minus this complete value qx plus del by del x of qx into dx. We have this equation. Now simplify the bracket. So it become minus qx minus del by del x of qx into dx. Now this plus and minus qx get cancelled. So final form remains dqx is equals to minus del by del x of qx dx. So actually this much amount of heat is get accumulated inside the element when heat is flowing in a direction of x only. Now here we are going to put the value of qx. So it become minus del by del x of minus kx ax del t by del x into dx. Remember, this is not a del x, this is the thickness of path. So dx. Now what is the area when heat flow in a direction of x? So cross sectional area for direction x is dz multiplied by dy. So dy into dz. So put the value, minus minus become plus kx del square t upon del x square area into dx. Now area is dy dz. So put the value of area. So it become kx del square t upon del x square in bracket del x del y del z, sorry, dx dy dz, and this bracket forming the volume of element. So in any direction volume remains same. So this is our total heat accumulated when heat is considered only in a direction of x. So this is our final form. dqx is equal to kx volume del square t upon del x square. Now for other direction, suppose y direction, so again we can derive in the same way for y direction, but no need to go in that much details. We can write directly. Similarly, total heat accumulated in the element due to heat flow in a y direction. So we are not deriving again, we are simply replacing the values. So for x direction we have this equation, for y direction it becomes dqx replaced by dqy. Kx is the thermal conductivity in x direction, so it will replace by ky, thermal conductivity in y direction. In x direction, volume is dx dy dz. Y direction, volume remains same, dx dy dz. For x, it is del square t upon del x square. So in y direction, it becomes del square t upon del y square. And also for z direction, in the same manner, dqz is the heat accumulated when heat flow in a z direction. So terms replace kz, that is thermal conductivity in a z direction. In z direction, volume remains same, dx dy dz, and del square t by del z square. So these are the heat accumulated when we consider individual directions. Now, what is the total heat or net heat accumulated inside the element? So for that, we have to consider all the direction heat accumulation. So net heat is equals to dqx plus dqy plus dqz. So if I add all the direction heat accumulation parts, so it will become net heat accumulated inside the element considering all direction. So our equation become kx volume del square t upon del x square plus ky again volume del square t upon del y square plus kz volume del square t upon del z square. Now volume term is a common, so we remove out. So q net is equals to volume dx dy dz. In bracket it remains kx del square t upon del x square plus ky del square t upon del y square plus kz del square t upon del z square. So this is our final total or net heat accumulated inside the element when we consider only that heat which is traveling in and moving out. Yet we are not considering heat generation. So this is the net heat accumulated due to heat flowing in and moving out in all direction. Now we will consider total heat generated inside the element. So total heat generated Qg or Gen. So total heat Q generation is equal to small Qg is the intensity of heat generation. So it is nothing but a watt per meter cube. So this is the intensity of heat generation, watt per meter cube, multiply by total volume, so it becomes total heat generation. So this much amount of heat is generated inside this element. Now the storing capacity of this element. So total heat store in the element, because whatever be the storing capacity, if heat is become more than that storing capacity, then it will transfer to surrounding medium. So for this element, what is the total storing capacity? So it become Q store is equal to Cp. Now this rho C is heat capacity. In a previous lecture we saw what is specific heat and heat capacity. So specific heat shows per unit mass, and heat capacity, that is a rho C, shows the heat storing capability per unit volume. So this is per unit volume, so multiply by volume, so it becomes for total volume, and del T by del of time, small t stand for time. So this is the heat storing capacity of this element. Now considering heat balance or energy balance. So energy balance, whatever be the total heat accumulated inside the element plus total heat generated inside the element must be equal to its storing capacity. So heat balance Q store is equals to Q net plus Q generation. So put the formulas derive. So Q store rho C volume del T by del of time is equals to, again volume, complete bracket, kx del square t upon del x square plus ky del square t upon del y square plus kz del square T upon del Z square plus heat generation, that is Qg, intensity multiplied by volume. Now this volume terms are on both the sides, so we can cancel it. So we get only this final form, rho C, that is heat capacity, del T by del of time is equals to this bracket Kx del square T upon del x square plus Ky del square T upon del y square plus Kz del square T upon del z square plus Qg. This Qg is not a total heat generation. This is the intensity of heat generation. That means watt per meter cube. Now rearranging same notations, just rearranging. So we put these terms on the left hand side. So Kx, thermal conductivity in x direction, del square T upon del x square, Ky del square T upon del y square plus Kz del square T upon del z square plus Qg is equal to rho C del T by del of time. This is three-dimensional heat conduction equation. Why three-dimension? Because we consider x, y and z. Secondly, this is the equation under unsteady state condition. Why unsteady state condition? Because there is del T by del of time. This term is not equals to 0. If it is equals to 0, then whole term will become 0. If it is not equal to 0, that means it having some value other than 0. So rho C del T by del of time. And when temperature does not change with respect to time, it is called steady state. And when it is steady state, this term becomes 0. But here it is not a 0. So we can say this is the equation, three-dimensional heat conduction equation under unsteady state condition. Also, second factor, we consider that in x direction, y direction and z direction, thermal conductivity are different. In a previous video, somewhere I mentioned that wood having a vertical cross section, then it having a fibrous, and horizontally if we cut, we saw there is a layer by layer. So it don't have the thermal conductivity same in all direction. So such kind of material where thermal conductivity in x, y and z are different, not same, then that is called as an isotropic material. This one, an isotropic material. So this final form is a three-dimensional heat conduction equation in Cartesian coordinate for an isotropic material under unsteady state condition. Now suppose we have a material which having a isotropic in nature. Isotropic means which having thermal conductivity value same in all direction. So in that case, if Kx is equals to Ky is equals to Kz, and suppose it is denoted by K. So all direction, if thermal conductivity is same, so this equation become K, K, K. So we can remove this K. So K into this bracket plus Qg rho C delta T by del of time. Now removing this K, so divided both side by K. So this K get cancelled. Here we get a value Qg upon K and rho C upon K. Now rearranging this, so we know that if we shift this rho C in denominator, so it become 1 upon K upon rho C, and K upon rho C is nothing but a thermal diffusivity. So we can put the value thermal diffusivity, because many time in numerical it is given thermal diffusivity. In that case we have to use this sigma value. If it is given K, rho and C values, then we can put this form. If thermal diffusivity is there, so the final form become del square T upon del x square plus del square T upon del y square plus del square T upon del z square plus Qg upon K is equals to 1 upon alpha del T by del of time. So this is our final three-dimensional heat conduction equation. But This is again under unsteady state condition because del T by del of time is not 0. And all K values X, Y, Z are same, so it is an isotropic material. So three-dimensional heat conduction equation in Cartesian coordinate for isotropic material under unsteady state condition. So this is our first part of today's lecture, and in next in next video, we will see the various form of three-dimensional heat conduction equation, and also we will see cylindrical coordinate and spherical coordinate three-dimensional heat conduction equation.